Tell me about how the Acton Academy got started. Tell me the origin story.
Well, the short answer is by accident. So our two boys, Charlie and Sam, were just finishing up Montessori school, and it was time to decide what to do next. I went to see the very best teacher at the very best middle school where our daughter was attending in Austin. And I asked him, when should we move the boys from their Montessori school to a more traditional school? And he said, as soon as possible. And I said, well, why? And he said, well, once they've had that kind of freedom, they won't want to be chained to a desk and lectured to for 8 hours a day. And before I knew, I blurted out, well, I don't blame them. And he said, he looked down for the longest time. I thought it had offended him. And he looked up and he shook his head and he had tears in his eyes and he said very quietly, I don't either. And so I went home that day and I told Laura, I don't know what we're going to do. We can homeschool, we can start a school, but the very best teacher at the very best traditional school in Austin just told me not to put our boys there. And that led to the launch of Acton Academy with 7 students and a little rented house. Never imagined we'd have an elementary school. Never would have dreamt of a middle school or that I would get drafted in to be the teacher of that or a high school. And then now that leads to 300 Actons in over 25 countries. And it looks like we're going to get to 1,000 schools before we're finished, all from that little kernel.
What do you think makes it work so well?
Our mission is actually right on. There's 2 things. One's the mission. We believe that every person who enters our door is a genius who deserves to find a calling that will change the world. If you don't believe that, you have no right to be inside an Acton Academy. And that means every parent, every guide, which is our word for teacher, every learner that walks in the door is a genius. Now, it doesn't mean they have 180 IQ. And one of the great lessons about Acton Academy is IQ matters. I mean, I'd rather be 6 feet tall and have a full head of hair and be really handsome, but I got to deal with what I got. So IQ matters, but perseverance and grit and kindness matter more. And so that mission of believing every child is going to become something remarkable, not prime minister, not president of the United States, maybe running a dry cleaners in East Austin, right? But maybe they only have 10 employees, maybe 1,000 people come to their funeral. So this idea that you are a genius, you're going to find a calling, you're going to change the world, that's really the core of everything we do at the Academy. And then I would say the second thing is understanding from the customer's point of view, the learner, what they want. And my friend Clay Christensen from Harvard Business School, he's got this theory called jobs to be done. Like, why do you hire a product or why do you hire a service? And he says, when you really listen to learners, and this is so true, they only want 2 things from school. They want to be surrounded by friends that they enjoy, and they want to feel successful every day. So you can talk at children all you want. You can chain them to a desk, but that doesn't lead to learning. You can call that education, but when you flip it and you look from their standpoint of what they want, and you offer challenges and real world activities, and they form their own tribes, I mean, you see amazing transformation happen, but you have to start believing they're a genius and seeing the world through their eyes.